Hey guys, Angel here. Welcome to, I believe we're on day 5 of the 7 days of YouTube with yours truly, Angel Richardson. Again, I'm so excited about this video. I actually got this question in last night and I didn't even have time to print it off, so I'm just going to read it here off of my phone. But I thought it was such an important question to address because I have worked with so many women that deal with this issue, and it is this. Here is the question. I've been reading recently about subconscious limiting beliefs and how they hold us back from being our greatest version. Mine is that I've been selling myself short and living small for years. I'm naturally a modest person who hates to boast. However, I have realized that it's definitely time to raise the bar and reach for more of my potential. However, I worry about people, colleagues, friends treating me differently due to jealousy if I change. And how to deal with this and not feel like it's my fault or feel guilty for shining my light. Please, can you do a video on this? The first thing that I want to address in this is that you, like most people of the world, including myself, sometimes we allow our feelings to be the dictators of how we are going to move through life. And you're saying that, like you said here, you said, I feel like it's my fault or feel guilty for shining my light. You are at fault. That is number one. If you become successful and you make this change and you become the woman that you want to be, that is your fault. And you should be proud of that being your fault. You also said feeling guilty about shining your light. And I just wanted to read the definition of the word guilty. And it simply says culpable of or responsible for a specified wrongdoing. So my question to you is, what are you doing wrong by bettering yourself? What are you doing wrong? And I'm not saying that in a rhetorical way. Like, I really want you to write that question down and answer it for yourself. Literally write out, what am I doing to other people when I better myself? How am I lessening their existence, or how am I hurting them as a person? I really want you to write that down, because you cannot make a change until you become crystal clear of where you are. So getting clear on, how do you really feel guilty about bettering yourself? So I want you to write down the pros and the cons that are going to happen in your life when you begin to better yourself. Write that down, and I just want you to weigh that out for yourself. So many people govern their lives based off of what other people think about them. I will never forget my pastor always saying that the biggest addiction that most people have to break, it is not crack cocaine, it's not heroin, it's not a sex addiction, it is being addicted to the opinions of other people. And I think that is so true, because more often than not, so many people have these great ideas or want to do something, but then they immediately think of, well, what about this person? What is that person going to say? And what is that person going to say? And how is that person going to treat me now that I'm changing? And more often than not, the people that we're worried about, what they're thinking about us, they're not even thinking about us as much as we think that they are. So at that point, you have to just get over your sweet little self and think that these people got lives. They're concerned about themselves. Yes, obviously, of course, it is very factual that people will have their opinions about you and say certain things to you when you begin to make those changes, but so freaking what? I want you guys to write down 3 things. 3 things that's going to happen to you guys when you step out and you begin to change. The first thing that's going to happen when you want to transform and become the grandest version of yourself, to use your words, is that number 1, you're going to start to feel uncomfortable in the environment that you're in. The places that you used to go, you won't want to go anymore. The things that you used to do, you won't want to do anymore. That's the first indication that it's time for a change, and that the change is in you, and that the time is now. So often people say, well, I'll wait until this happens, or I'll wait until that happens, not realizing that as soon as you get the want to move forward, that's when the time is. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. You're going to get uncomfortable. And not only you're going to get uncomfortable when you decide it's time to make a change, other people are going to get uncomfortable because they're going to notice that your energy is changing, your conversation is changing, and people are going to start to notice. And a lot of times we think that, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to sit down and have this huge conference and let everybody in my life know that I'm now making this change so everybody can get used to it or get comfortable with it. People are just going to naturally fall off. That's a natural progression of growing into the grandest version of yourself. So that's the first thing. You're just going to start to feel uncomfortable. The second thing that you're going to feel when you want to make a change is, this is the part that most people avoid because everybody knows that this part is coming. And it's a period of solitude. Solitude will come upon you. You will just want to stay in the house and you won't want to go out. And a lot of people feel like, oh my goodness, but what am I going to do when I sit at home? What am I going to do if I don't go out? Like, they are afraid to allow that solitude period in their life because they feel like they're going to feel alone or feel lonely, not realizing that that period is one of the most juiciest times of your life. Because you get to pull back from the mundane and what you've been doing and just assess your life and just figure out, what do I want to do with this? But a lot of people won't do that because they don't like solitude. If you can't be still and sit in and drive in your car and not have to turn the radio on, or as soon as you come home you got to turn the radio on and the TV on so you don't even hear your own thoughts, if that's where you're at, you need to go through this solitude period because this is the spirit trying to reveal itself fully to you so you can become the greatest version of yourself. So that's the second thing that's going to happen, is that you're going to go through that solitude period of time, and do not run from it. Don't go up against it. Just allow it to happen. And the third thing that's going to happen is that you're going to start rebuilding. When you start to get uncomfortable with the things in your life, and then you start to fall back and start to assess things, and you get comfortable in that solitude period and you become your own best friend during that time, that's when you're going to find the courage and your purpose to start rebuilding. And in this rebuilding stage, this is when you're going to get new friends, because you're going to be in a brand new skin. You're going to be vibrating at a different frequency. You're going to attract different people into your life that now serve your purpose and not just serve the comfortability of your past. See, a lot of times people, well, I went to school with her. I've known her since I was in kindergarten. How can I stop being friends with her? Well, who do you want to answer to? Your friend from kindergarten or your Father in heaven? Who do you want to answer to? That's who you have to answer to. That's who holds your promises and your blessings. And I trust you. Trust me. As sure as I'm sitting here, God will bring other people into your life that will serve your grandest version of yourself, and vice versa. You will be built up in such a way that you can now pour back into other people with more joy, and your cup will just be running over. You will be pouring back into people from a cup that's overflowing and not a cup that is just half empty because you don't even know who you are. You just kind of go with this person and you care about this person's opinion and that person's opinion, and eventually you just don't even know who you are. So during that time, you get to find out just how juicy you are and how much of your own best friend that you can be. So guys, I pray that you guys get a little bit sassy with this transformation, and at some point you got to get out of your feelings and care more about how you feel about yourself than what other people are going to feel about you. Let them get new friends. You're not the only friend that they have. You will get replaced. As uncomfortable as that may be, that's the reality. Either you stay stagnant with those people that don't want to change, or you continue to grow. And also, I want to say that you said that you just started reading about the subconscious mind. Keep doing that. That's where you're going to build your muscle that's going to keep you confident enough to continue on this road. The more you read about it, the more you become aware of it. You know, the scripture says that we perish for a lack of knowledge. That's why I love studying about the mind and reading books on why we do the things that we do and how we think. I mean, that just that alone just turns me on, reading why people do the things that they do. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.